I'll be reciting Surah Ash-Shura, verses 17 to 27, inshallah. Please recite the salawat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله الذي أنزل الكتاب بالحق والميزان وما يدريك لعل الساعة قريب يستعجل بها الذين لا يؤمنون بها والذين آمنوا مشفقون منها ويعلمون أنها الحق ألا إن الذين يمارون في الساعة لفي ضلال بعيد الله لطيف بعباده يرزق من يشاء وهو القوي العزيز من كان يريد حرث الآخرة نزد له في حرثه ومن كان يريد حرث الدنيا نؤته منها وما له في الآخرة من نصيب أم لهم شركاء شرعوا لهم من الدين ما لم يأذن به الله ولولا كلمة الفصل لقضي بينهم وإن الظالمين لهم عذاب أليم ترى الظالمين مشفقين مما كسبوا وهو واقع بهم والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات في روضات الجنات لهم ما يشاءون عند ربهم ذلك هو الفضل الكبير ذلك الذي يبشر الله عباده الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى ومن يقترف حسنة نزد له فيها حسنا إن الله غفور شكور أم على الله كذبا فإن
فإن يشاء الله يختم على قلبك ويمحو الله الباطل ويحق الحق بكلماته إنه عليم بذات الصدور وهو الذي يقبل التوبة عن عباده ويعفو عن السيئات ويعلم ما تفعلون ويستجيب الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات ويزيدهم من فضله والكافرون لهم عذاب شديد ولو بسط الله الرزق لعباده لبغوا في الأرض ولكن ينزل بقدر ما يشاء إنه بعباده خبير بصير صدق الله العلي العظيم الله سلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار على رسول الله وآله الأطهار.
Can we get another salawat for the brother for beautiful recitation of Quran? Salawat Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Just a quick reminder that we will be having the Shahadat of the fourth Imam's Majlis tomorrow night as well. So we do have a program here on 4 parallel programs, including a children's program tomorrow night. And then following week, we'll have programs again starting on Thursday to Saturday, inshallah. Will be English only in the main hall. So for just a couple of announcements that are going on this weekend or in the upcoming events. One is we always have the children's program going on anytime we have a program here at SABA with the different age groups, 5 to 9, 9 to plus, and then ages 3 to 5. Please see the change of location for the different age groups, inshallah, so you can be directed accordingly. So right now SABA is collecting donations for food for the families that have been displaced by the fires in Northern California. If you like to bring anything, please bring them to the the library in the men's side. We do have a sign there. We have some boxes there. We want to make sure that all the food is collected in the one location. So sisters as well, if you have anything, please give it to your brother, or you can just come and drop it in the library, inshallah. And then on the 21st, the SYG is doing they're serving lunch at Montgomery Street Inn at Homeless Shelter on Saturday, October 21st. It's from 11:30 to 2:30. The volunteers, if you're interested in volunteering, please do sign up. They sent the email out, and if you didn't receive the email, there's also on their Facebook. And if you still don't have access to those things and are interested, you can come talk to me on the brother side, or Brother Ali Musa on the sister side, Sister Fatima, Sister Aliza. You can get more information, inshallah. That is again on the 21st of October, 11:30 to 2:30 at Montgomery Street Inn Homeless Shelter.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Is the protector of subtraction, that we get the message the way it was delivered to Allah, by Allah to us. And Ahlul Bayt's role and job is to protect interpretation, tafsir. Because after Prophet departed this dunya, most of the damages happen within Islam, as internal conflict comes from interpretation, tafsir. For almost 100 years after Prophet's death, it was forbidden to narrate hadith. to say, Qala Rasulullah, Prophet said, Sami'atu Rasulullah, I heard from Prophet. I saw Prophet did this. It was forbidden to say anything in regard of the Prophet. Why was it? There's different reasoning behind it. But what we can come to an agreement among all the Muslims is that it was a very destructive pattern and a destructive tool to use at that time. To say, for 100 years we're not going to talk about what we learned from Prophet. We're going to leave Quran, and Quran is Quran, and we don't need the Prophet for now. And they say, we're protecting the message. We're protecting Islam with this. But after 100 years, everybody you're damaging the essence of Islam, nobody listened. But almost 100 years later, they start coming to their senses that, we should go back. We should listen to Prophet. We should start writing what we learned from Prophet. Because the moment you do that, you say, the tafsir of Quran is up to us. We have to explain what Quran is trying to say. The damage will be, one of the examples will be Khawarij. That those who interpret Quran with their personal opinion. One example of that could be Yazid ibn Muawiyah. In Yazid's mansion, he asked Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, who are you? And Imam said, Ana Ali ibn al-Husayn alayhi salam. I am Ali, son of Hussein. And Yazid responded, I heard that Ali ibn al-Husayn, Ali son of Hussein, was killed in Karbala. And Imam alayhi salam responded, I had a brother who was killed in the day of. The way he said it was this, that I heard that God killed Ali, son of Hussein, in Karbala. God killed Ali ibn al-Husayn. And then Imam alayhi salam said, yes, Ali ibn al-Husayn was my brother who was killed in Karbala, that people, oppressive people, killed him in Karbala. Why he dared to say such a thing, that God did this? Because in Quran, Allah talks about the concept of taking souls. The concept of death is very evident and prominent in Quran, that Allah is the one that takes the soul. He gives life and He takes life. And if somebody doesn't understand this message properly, they can misunderstand this. That in the story of Imam Hussein, even today there are some ignorant scholar who will say that, why you mourn for Imam Hussein? God wanted Imam Hussein to mourn. Why you? That they don't understand the concept is not protesting God's will, because Imam alayhi salam didn't do that. That he himself said, I am satisfied with Allah's satisfaction. I'm on board with God's plan for myself and for my family. He said it himself. But what we are protesting and what we are mourning for is oppression against the tragedies such as Karbala. And today is the same thing. We mourn for the injustice that we see in Myanmar, in Bahrain, in Iraq, in Syria, and the silence of the Muslim Ummah in regards of these oppressions. This is the reason of mourning. But the interpretation of this mourning is different. So Ahlul Bayt are protectors of this message. Salatul Huquq is a clear reflection of that tafsir of Quran. Imam said the right of Allah upon you is to worship no one but Him, to obey Him, to don't associate anyone with Him, to be a monotheist. And Quran says that as well. So the reason, the philosophy behind your creation is to obey Allah. مَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. We heard this ayah probably from hundreds of speakers, that Allah created us and jinn for one purpose only. And that purpose was obedience, to obey Him. Not blindly. That's what, again, another verse of وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. O Prophet, teach this to people, that I'm calling you toward God ala basira, with insight, with understanding. That I want you to believe in Allah because you want to believe in Him and you recognize why you believe in Him. why you're obeying Him. Ala basira, not blindly. I want you to see why you believe in God. Ana wa man ittaba'ani. I do it myself. I believe in Allah with that knowledge and insight. I know why I worship Him. And wa man ittaba'ani. Whoever is planning to follow me as a prophet of God has to do the same thing. You have to know why you believe in God. We have in one of the battles a group of mushrikeen, non-believers. They approached Prophet and they said, Ya Rasulullah, we're gonna Islam, but we have one condition. We're gonna convert, but we have one condition. And Prophet asked him, what is the condition? He said, we have an idol in our tribe. Let us continue worshiping it for 1 year. You're telling those who worship in Allah to don't worship idols, but give us an exception. If you give our tribe an exception, number of followers, that majority are oppressors and they're planning to execute every Muslim possible. So every person joining Prophet is a very important change in the future of Muslim Ummah. And this tribe is a very massive tribe, powerful warriors, fighters, and this offering is a very important offering. Any smart politician will say, great, let's do it. But Prophet is a man of God. He's more. So if you have Allah, and you try to find a side and fight to get some benefit. So we don't need such Islam. I don't need such Islam. Allah does not need such Islam who doesn't have belief behind it. Go whenever you came to understanding that why you believe in Allah and why you have to become a Muslim, come back then. So that's what Quran says. We created you to obey Allah, not blindly, to know why you believe in Him. The universe. When we inspired by people like Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. That we have, you heard the fada'il, the qualities of Ahlul Bayt, that Imam Ali, when he was facing the enemy, his armor didn't have a back, right? Because he never turned his back to the enemy. We heard that about Al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. We heard that about Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Their bravery, that you feel inspired by them. That an entire universe, 24 million, 22 million are so inspired that they walk in Arba'in to meet the graveyard of such a man. More than 20 million people in last year Arba'in participated. What this person has that inspires so many people. Al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, everybody looking at Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Imam Hussein alayhi salam is looking up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That he is inspired by the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That he is looking up to something. Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is looking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That gave him that support and that belief that I'm not going to turn back. That's what made him different. Abd is a very important quality. Yes, in the relation of humans, history is a very dark part of our human history of the concept of slavery, right? Abd in Arabic means a slave in one of the translation. Another word is servant. In the context of slavery, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam is a prominent anti-slavery person. Read about his life. That one of the main goal of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam in his lifetime was to buy slaves, teach them how to survive, how to stand by their own feet, and then free them. Hundreds of them. And he would encourage all his companions to do the same thing. But at the same time, such a person is against slavery of man to another man. He is Sayyidus Sajidin. He is the one who is in the highest level of ubudiyya and servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because that's not the same type. In a slavery of man to another, which again when you read, you will be shocked that treat another human being like that. But ultimately the purpose of that was the benefit of the owner. That the owners and the slave owners were the one that they're getting them all the benefit. No rights for the slaves. And all the benefits and contribution will be in the name of the person who owns them for some reason. But in the relationship of our servitude with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is opposite of that. And we repeat that in our prayers every time, right? قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدْ Allahus. Say it. Allahus Samad. Allah is needless. Samad means He's not in need of our prayers. Between the servitude, because regardless, charity organization or ziyarah group, they said, part of our benefits and the whatever is the profit that we make goes to this charity, part of it or all of it. In the case of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the investment we make in Allah's servitude comes back to us. All of it. When Allah said, "Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima." Recite us. Thank you. Jazakumullah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Even when we send blessing upon the Prophet, we have that Prophet ﷺ's status will be elevated, and through that elevation we get benefit from that. That when Allah sees us as a follower of the Prophet, salute him, send blessing and peace upon him, Allah is so just and merciful that He will return that contribution. So in some way, everything we do is kind of selfish. Do for the sake of Allah is selfish because we gain something from it. When Rasulullah is saying, I find peace in prayers, that means that Rasulullah gains something from prayers. It's not that like a relationship of man to man that you all only give and you sometimes never get anything in return. In Allah's case, Allah doesn't need any of our contribution. Our servitude will provide benefit for us. Because when we rebel, our rebellion, innal insana tagha an ra'ahu istaghna, when we rebel against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we damage ourselves the most. And then others. In Dua Kumail, this statement that we repeat has come from Quran. Zalamtu nafsi. Ya Allah, I wronged myself. I oppressed myself. Thank you. Come from Quran. Those who ظلموا أنفسهم ذكروا الله فاستغفروا لذنوبهم. Those who oppress and wrong themselves, they return to God. That your sins is hurting you the most before anyone else. So that's the right of Allah, obedience. To don't worship anyone beside Allah. And by the way, this is a constant responsibility. You can't say, I'm going to worship Allah. You can play with it. Ubudiyyah of Allah is constant. That's the reason Hazrat Zainab Salamullahi alayha's midnight prayers was not missed. Because Hazrat Zainab gained something from that. We get shocked. How is that possible that you go through all that suffering and tortures and witness all those tragedies, and then the next day that you're being held captive and forced to walk fast or ride the camels without jahaz, without any protection. How you can all the suffering, all the hardship. This doesn't happen in the midnight, or you're still awake till midnight and you do your midnight prayers. It's because for Hazrat Zainab Salamullah Alaiha is not a is not a burden to do Salatul Layl. That Allah's obedience is a way of relief for her. That's the difference between prayers of Rasulullah and our prayers. Well, hopefully, inshallah, we look up to Prophet prayers. You know, I've heard parents said to their kids, you know, Ali or Zahra, go do your prayers and then you'll be comfortable. Come sit down, do your game or whatever you do, right? Go do your prayer at once, then you will be free, comfortable. Then you have no more burden on you. You know, let's remove this burden from your shoulder on time. Which for kids, understand, is their age. They probably need some more understanding of the importance of prayers. But if adults still think the same way, they should learn. When we have that the time of adhan would have come, Rasulullah used to call Bilal and said, Arihna ya Bilal. Free us from all these distractions, Bilal. That we're not comfortable right now in this dunya. Being worried about the payments, being worried about the possible enemies, threat, jealousies, all these different distractions and worries and anxieties is with us. And Rasulullah said, Arihna ya Bilal, say the azan and free us from all these anxieties. That with prayers I find peace. It's very idealistic to say, but that's the way that prayers of awliya Allah should be and must be. That prayers is a way of solitude and freedom. That Imam Sajjad alayhi salam find a peace that is prominently being recognized for his prostration. That he find peace in that. The right of Allah is ubudiyah. The one who turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they don't hurt Allah. I've heard people who make condition for God. You will be surprised. Somebody came to me and as a compliment he said this. And he said, then don't resolve this problem. I will never come to masjid again. I made a pact with God. If you don't resolve this issue, I will never put another step into Majlis of Imam Hussain. A threat. To who? To Allah. And as I said, he was saying it as a way of a positive point and comment. So God answered my prayers. And I'm here. That's the reason you see me here. Allah is so merciful. And indeed Allah is so merciful. That even if we turn our back to Him, He will not give up on us. If we break our promise over and over, He said, La taqnatu min rahmatillah. Don't lose hope, come back. Answers. Somebody make a threat to us to help them. Will we help them? That we make conditions. This lack of understanding. Allah doesn't need me to give money to masjid. Allah doesn't need me to do anything good. Because if Allah needs any of that, He's not God anymore. It's not a goddess, as a Greek goddess who needs my sacrifice to survive. He's needless. All-powerful, all-knowing, impotent. That's the right of Allah. What is the haqqun nafs, the right of self? Imam alayhi salam said, the right of your nafs, your right. You have to know your own right. You have to know your own value. Is to use what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you in the way of servitude. That's what the right of your nafs is, to invest yourself, your nafs, In other words, don't sell yourself cheap. That's the right of nafs. Because when you drink, you're selling yourself very cheaply. When you go to the intoxication level, you're taking yourself lightly than who you are. When you lose ability to think straight. I don't know if you see drunk people. I hope you never see them. But I've unfortunately saw some cases, sometime in an airport, sometime in the street, you see drunk people. And you see this human being, intelligent, caring, could be decreased to a level that an animal has some dignity and decency over them. What happened to this man? They sold themselves very cheaply. That's the right of nafs, to know your value, to take care of yourself. إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلٌّ عُلَائِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. In other words, the right of yourself is to live a responsible life. That's the right of self. As human beings, some men, they don't like responsibilities. Right now, if I said, who has ideas, probably most of us have ideas, right? Let's do this, let's do that. We have to make this change. So, okay, who's going to give us a for those who don't have job or they're laid off or something? Happens in many situations of ideas. People have a lot of great ideas. I think somebody said this. I forget who was it. It was I think Tech Mogul who said this. And the difference between success and failure is the line between ideas and execution. A lot of great ideas out there. Like this young man came to me and said, I had the idea of Uber, they stole it from me. So what do you mean? So no, I had this idea that we should have a system that people are able to give right. So there are a lot of good ideas out there. There's an idea about, a lot of futuristic invention that people want to have. Flying cars is one of them. Are you able to execute that? Are you make it happen? The right of self is to recognize that you're responsible, to accept the responsibility for failure and for success. For success, we take our credit, right? We don't let anyone undermine our success. A young gentleman, I was sitting in the dinner time, not here, in another center. There's an argument between this teenager and his father. Said, you always put me down. You never see, the good I do. You always focus and, emphasize on my failure. You don't like to see me succeed. And based on what he was saying, it was almost, want to privately approach the father and said, probably, you should take a different approach to your kids. It's good to appreciate the talents and, if they do something good, try to empower those parts, help them to succeed better. And then he said something that I changed my mind. He said, when I brought you my report card, you start looking at all the fail I got in all the other subjects. The math, you care. But I got an A in PE. Focus on the A. Stop focusing on the failure in other subjects. This child even knows that we want a credit when we don't focus as a self on the failure. When we make mistakes, we try to sweep it under the rug. I didn't do anything wrong. It's others' fault, right? Let's blame everyone else. When there's an issue somewhere, the first thing we do is blame others. As a human being, this is what we do. It's my parents' fault. I was a very talented person. My parents, killed my talent. I was this and that. I was the living a life of shifting blames. How you are living a fantasy? When you see every failure you have, there's someone else's. accept the responsibility of failure. That's the right of self. That's the point of tawbah. One of the major reasons people don't approach repentance, there's two reasons. Number one, some people lose hope. They say, Allah will not forgive me. I did so much bad that there's no chance for Allah to forgive me. That's one. Great people don't approach tawbah, don't do tawbah, is because of this. I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I ask Allah to forgive me? Why should I even cry? Tears are for the sinners and the thieves and I don't know, some list of sins that we think they are the only sins. And we see the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam are crying in the night of Ashura that are we ready to meet our Lord? And that's the right of self. The right of self is to be responsible over every organ. We're responsible for our ear, our eyes, our heart, our mind. We're responsible for the import and the export. The third one is haqqul lisan, the right of the tongue. That's the one of the export. We listen, we watch, we think, and the major export we have is the tongue. And the right of the tongue, Imam alayhi salam, is to train your tongue to say what Allah wants. Teach your tongue manners and ethics and adab. Because without that, your tongue will be able to cause a lot of damage to every aspect of your life. Your faith, your financial life, your social role, all that will be damaged by the tongue. I highly encourage you to read Surah Hujurat. An ethical encyclopedia of Quran is Surah Hujurat. And Allah simply said in Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la yaskharu qawmun min qawm. Don't make fun of one another. Asa an tuhibbu khayran minhum. Maybe they're better than you, that you're making fun of them. You think they're lower than you, but you don't know. Mocking is very curse, but there's sometimes specific people. One of them is this: wailun likulli humazatin lumaza. Woe upon those who are slanderers and those who mock. They mock people verbally, or sometimes body language wise. They make fun of people with their body language. They raise their eyebrows. But they are able to convey their message without even verbal communication. Woe upon them, wail upon them. Inshallah, I have to continue more on this and I have to finish. So there's two more to add to this. So I said about the right of Allah, the right of self, and the right of the tongue. There's more to talk on the right of the tongue. For to fulfill us and to fulfill Allah. Shahada of Imam Zain al-Abidin, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all of our shortcomings, all of our mistakes and sin, and through the tawbah and repentance give us the tawfiq to be the true follower of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alayka ya Aba al-Hasan ya Ali ibn al-Husayn يا زين العابدين يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله. We have in many maqatil, the narratives of the Shahada of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that years after the Shahada of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, they, in different occasions, the tragedy of Karbala and cry for that reason. Until one of the companions approached Imam alayhi salam and said, Ya ibn Rasulullah, when is the time for you to stop crying? Years and years passed, and I think it's enough for you to stop. And Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam told his companion, did you read Quran and did you read Surah Yusuf? If you read Surah Yusuf, you know that Yaqub alayhi salam was separated from his son Yusuf for a few years. Yusuf alayhi salam was separated from his father. Yaqub alayhi salam cried and cried until he lost his sight. And you expect me to stop crying when what they brought for Yaqub alayhi salam was a bloody shirt. They brought a bloody shirt. But for me, before my eyes, I saw one by one my brothers, one by one my uncles, one by one my cousins. They were killed, they were beheaded, they were mutilated, and then they showed down their heads for 40 days, 35 days, from one station to another. How do you expect me to do not cry for this musibah? We have that when Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam was poisoned, and Imam Baghr alayhi salam washed the body of Imam al-Sajjad and prepared as he cried, comforted the Imam loud, and Imam Baghr alayhi salam was on the body of my father Imam al-Sajjad. But how can I forget the pain of my grandfather Hussein when they placed the body of my grandfather on the ground of Karbala without a head? For 3 days the sun was the only covering for the body of my grandfather Hussein. And when my aunt Zainab approached the body, old shirt, because that was a sign that before my grandfather Hussein went to the battle, she requested for an old shirt to wear under his armor. But when the day of Ashura, they killed Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, they didn't have mercy for that shirt. Each of the enemy take a piece from that shirt for tabarruk. They took a piece of that, and they were used to show off that to one another, that I participated in the killing of the Hussein ibn Ali alayhi salam. How can I forget the pain of my grandfather Hussein when my aunt Zainab finally found the body of Hussein alayhi salam? He looked at Medina, said, Ya Rasulallah, is this the body of the master of the youth of the paradise? Is this the body that you kissed the neck of the master of the youth of paradise? Ya Rasulallah, I take the complaint of this ummah to you, and I can't forget when the enemies approached it and hit and slapped her until by force they separated the الظالمين. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. اللهم إنا نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم العز الأجل الأكرم بكتابك المستحكم وبنبيك المكرم وبأهل بيت المعصومين Ya Allah, 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 Ya ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم أدخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أغن كل فقير. اللهم أشبع كل جائع. اللهم اكسو كل عريان. اللهم اقض دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم اصلح كل فاسد. اللهم سد غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات ولشفاء مرضانا ولتعجيل الفرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان. رحم الله لمن يقرأ الفاتحة.
Masham, Sham, 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 Sham. Sing the skin is on in children's graves from the on the Sham, Sham. Shama, Shama.
The martyr's head shine in the front.
The 6-month-old. It is on a spear. It is on a spear as Shama, Sham, Shama, 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 Sham, Shama, 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 Sham. Sakina cries out for her dad.
Sakina cries out for her dad.
Too much pain for her to bear.
Too much pain for her to bear.
How much more can a girl take?
How much more can a girl take?
How much more can a girl take? She is Shaheed in Asham. Asham, 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 Asham. Captive, no one protects us.
Captive, no one protects us.
There is. Whose name do you take in Adhan? Whose name do you take in Adhan? You're the ones who killed his sons. Asham, 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 Asham. Promised Hussein I won't cry.
Promise Hussein I won't cry.
Allah accept my sacrifice.
Allah accept my sacrifice.
I saw nothing but beauty.
I saw nothing but beauty.
I saw nothing but beauty from Karbala to Asham, 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 Asham. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام ولك السلام وإليك يعود السلام. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام على الأئمة الهادين المهديين. السلام على جميع أنبياء الله ورسله وملائكته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام على العالمين. السلام على الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة أجمعين. السلام على علي بن الحسين زين العابدين علينا الباقر. السلام على جعفر بن محمد الصادق. السلام على موسى بن جعفر الكاظم. السلام على علي بن موسى الرضا. السلام على محمد بن علي الجواد. السلام على علي بن محمد الهادي. السلام على الحسن بن علي العسكري الزكي. السلام على صاحب الزمان خليفة الرحمن إمام الإنس والجان، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك. السلام عليكم يا أهل بيت النبوة محمد.